In a bustling city, there lived a young boy named Lee. He was known by everyone as someone who always overthought, constantly worrying about the future and dwelling on the past. His mind was like a crowded marketplace, filled with endless thoughts and noise, and he could never find peace. One day, Lee heard about a Zen master who lived in a small quiet village by the river. This master was said to have found inner peace and had helped many others find it as well. Eager to find relief, Lee decided to visit him. After a long and tiring journey, Lee finally arrived at the Zen master's humble home. The master was sitting quietly on a wooden bench under the shade of a large tree, his eyes closed in deep meditation, breathing slowly and peacefully. Lee approached him and bowed respectfully. "Master, I have come seeking your help. My mind is always full of thoughts and I cannot find any peace. Can you teach me how to quiet my mind?" The Zen master opened his eyes, smiling gently. "You wish to quiet your mind? Is that it?" he asked. Lee nodded eagerly. "Come with me," the Zen master said, leading Lee to a small garden behind his house. In the middle of the garden was a large jar filled with sand next to a small empty cup. The master picked up the cup and scooped some sand from the jar into the cup. "Your task is simple," he said. "You must empty the entire jar into this small cup without spilling any sand." Lee stared at the jar and then at the small cup. He was confused because the jar was huge and the cup could barely hold a handful of sand. But determined to prove himself, he accepted the challenge. He started scooping the sand carefully, trying not to spill any. But the more he scooped, the more sand slipped through his fingers. Hours passed, and no matter how hard he tried, the jar still seemed just as full as before. Lee grew frustrated, and his mind became even more restless. Seeing his struggle, the Zen master approached him and placed his hand on his shoulder. "Lee," he said calmly, "you are trying so hard to empty the jar, but you have forgotten the most important step. To empty the jar, you must first empty your mind." Lee looked at him, confused. "But how do I do that?" The Zen master smiled. "Let go of your worries and your need for control. Focus only on what you are doing right now. Be here, in this moment, and the rest will follow." Taking a deep breath, Lee closed his eyes and tried to let go of his frustration. He stopped thinking about how much sand was left or how long it would take. Instead, he focused on each scoop, feeling the weight of the sand in his hand, hearing the soft sound it made as it fell into the cup. Slowly something changed. Lee's movements became smoother and his mind quieter. He wasn't in a hurry anymore. He was simply present. And as his mind cleared, the task became easier. The sand seemed to pour into the cup effortlessly. Finally, after some time, the jar was empty. Lee stood there in disbelief, feeling a sense of calm wash over him. He turned to the Zen master, filled with gratitude. "You see, Lee," the Zen master said softly, "when you empty your mind of worries, distraction, and fears, everything flows naturally. You become one with what you are doing, and peace follows." Lee realized then that true peace was not something to chase. It was always within, waiting to be found by letting go. Moral of the story. The lesson of the story is that peace comes not from trying to control everything, but from letting go and being fully present in the moment. When we quiet the mind, we allow ourselves to experience life more clearly and peacefully. From that day onwards, Lee carried the wisdom of the Zen master in his heart.